The night is quiet at Haven House in Louisiana. The sun hasn't risen yet, and the stillness is broken only by the restless tossing of Rogue, Anna Marie, asleep beside her husband. Remy LeBeau, better known as Gambit, lies awake watching her. He knows if she turns the wrong way in her sleep, the wall won't survive the impact. Her strength has no off switch. He wonders what she's dreaming about, though he suspects he already knows. Suddenly, Rogue jolts awake, sitting up in bed, her eyes wide. She blurts out that she needs to talk to Jitter. Right now. Remy, still in his shorts, can't stand to see so much hurt on her face. He doesn't think of himself as a perfect husband, but he'll do anything to ease that pain. Rogue rises, crosses the room, and looks out the window. She confesses what's been gnawing at her. She ordered Remy to knock Jitter off the tower during training. The thought now horrifies her. What was I thinking? She could have been busted up bad. Who does that to a kid? Can't. I'm not fit to do this. Remy pulls her close. He doesn't say they owe the girl an apology, but he tells Rogue to look outside for herself. There, in the dim light of morning, Sophia Young, codenamed Jitter, is climbing through the makeshift danger room they've built on the grounds. Her hands grasp rope and wood, swinging across obstacles with sheer determination. Rogue watches, surprised. Gambit explains that she's been at it since 4:30 a.m. Rogue shakes her head. If the girl keeps this up, she's going to get herself hurt. Rules need to be made. No trainees unsupervised in the danger room, but Remy points out that she isn't really alone at all. Down below, the other outliers are cheering her on. Valentine Correa, known as Ransom, calls up for her to cross the whole top level in under 2 minutes. Becca Simon Pinette, Calico, encourages her, while Hotoru, or Death Dream, grumbles about preferring formaldehyde to fresh air. Calico grows uneasy. She notes that Jitter's been at this for hours and asks if maybe they should stop her. Ransom admits he tried, but Jitter has something to prove. Then Hotoru nervously speaks up. Could you teach me to box? Surprised, Ransom agrees, though he points out the boy can't run in his current clothes. He tells him to change and be back in 10 minutes. Hotoru beams and runs off to fetch something suitable. Calico questions the wisdom of teaching him to fight, but Ransom insists everyone has a right to defend themselves. Nestling against her horse, Ember, Calico admits it makes sense. If anyone might need to throw a punch someday, it's the kid who can summon the dead. The training is interrupted when Rogue storms out, calling Jitter down. Calico gasps, while Jitter pleads with her friends to cover for her. They decline. This one's on her. Gambit trails behind Rogue, sipping his coffee, already wary of her temper. Rogue demands to see Jitter's hands. The girl reluctantly holds them out, bloody, raw, and blistered from climbing. Rogue softens immediately. She hugs Sophia and apologizes, confessing that in trying to teach her toughness, she went about it all wrong. Jitter squeaks, "Please don't squish me." Then she brightens, noting that Gambit already apologized the night before and said Rogue would too. Gambit chuckles, sipping his coffee. "Guess I'm a stinker like dat, non." Hotoru reappears, drowning in Ransom's oversized costume, announcing he's ready to train. The scene lightens. Jitter teases Gambit about his odd footwear, prompting him to proudly explain Cajun sneakers. Boots perfect for crawfishing. He promises them all a boil that evening. Marcus St. Jr.'s, the stern but reliable caretaker of Haven House, rings the breakfast bell from the porch. He reminds everyone, 5 minutes, washed hands, or no food. The young recruits scatter toward the house. Gambit lingers, slipping a hand into his coat pocket. He finds something that wasn't there before, a note. His expression hardens as he reads it. "Your bill has come due, Chowie. Pay what you owe. V." Gambit mutters to himself. He's back. Years ago, Remy LeBeau was still just a boy, not yet the rogue mutant thief he'd grow into. On one warm Louisiana afternoon, he sat on a hill with a bag of crawfish, trying to amuse himself. That's when the bullies came. 3 boys, led by Salvatore, mocked him as the Freak, the so-called White Devil, Le Diable Blanc, son of Jean-Luc LeBeau. They sneered at his lack of a mother and taunted his heritage, claiming he wasn't even a real Cajun. Remy tried to hold back. He'd promised Jean-Luc not to fight, but their insults stung. Finally, he snapped, throwing back an insult that earned him a beating. Salvatore and his friends knocked him down, stomped on him, emptied out his crawfish bag, and left him bloodied in the dirt. After they left, a voice asked if he was still breathing. A man in a suit, with strange scale-like skin, stood over him. This was the Vig, a name whispered with fear. He'd once worked for the Mink, and now served Jean-Luc LeBeau himself. The Vig looked at Remy with amusement. "I'll say one thing, boy, you sure take a fine-ass whoopin'. But me? I wouldn't take talk like that, not about being Cajun." He offered to rough up the bullies for him, but Remy declined, saying it was his own trouble. The Vig liked his spirit. He even asked what Remy had lifted off those boys during the scuffle. Proudly, Remy showed him the loot: 2 burner phones, gum, and cash. The Vig laughed and chewed the gum, impressed. He tempted Remy with an idea. He knew where the bullies would be that night. Jean-Luc was out of town, so no one had to know. If Remy wanted to stand up for himself, this was his chance. Remy hesitated, but the Vig reassured him. "We freaks gotta stick together," he said, extending his hand. That night, with the Vig covering for him, Remy confronted Salvatore and his crew at their hideout. Armed with a pipe, he gave them a taste of payback. When Salvatore threatened Belladonna, the girl Remy secretly admired, Remy's powers surged, charging the pipe with explosive energy. For the first time, he realized what he was capable of. And when the dust settled, the Vig was waiting, ready to take him out for a shrimp po' boy and call it a victory. The shrimp po' boy was the best thing young Remy LeBeau had ever tasted. Simple, no frills, pickles, lettuce, tomato, mayo, fried shrimp done just right. Sitting on a bench with the Vig, he felt, for the first time that day, like someone had his back. The Vig chewed, grinning, telling him he was proud. For Remy, whose adoptive father Jean-Luc was stern and distant, those words mattered more than they should have. But peace never lasted long in New Orleans. A group of men approached the bench, armed, dangerous, and led by none other than Salvatore Sr., captain in the Assassin's Guild, and father of the boy Remy had just beaten. "Your boy ambushed my son. Fractured his jaw. He earned himself a beating, Vig. This don't concern you," Salvatore growled. The Vig calmly licked mayo off his fingers, not even standing up. "See, I beg to differ. Let me finish this sandwich, Sally." His grin was unsettling. He wasn't asking permission, he was warning them. Then he moved. One second he was lounging, the next he slammed Salvatore's head into the bench. The scene turned violent fast. Men pulling guns, the Vig ripping a bat out of someone's hands and cracking it over 2 of them without breaking stride. Remy froze. He'd just gotten a taste of his own power, but this was different. This was real blood, real violence. He wasn't ready for it. The Vig grabbed him by the shoulders, his eyes sharp. "Snap out of it, boy. You gotta get someplace safe till this cools down. Run, now." Remy wanted to argue, but one look at the chaos told him the Vig wasn't exaggerating. He bolted. Remy ran until his lungs burned, until the echoes of violence faded behind him. He remembered whispers of a place called Haven House, a sanctuary where the lost could find shelter. He knocked on the heavy door, dirt-streaked and wide-eyed, and Marcus St. Jr.'s himself answered. Marcus didn't ask questions. He gave the boy food, a bed, and work. For 2 days, Remy felt clean again, like maybe the dirt really could wash off. But then came the newspaper. 4 known felons had been found dead at the cathedral. The details were grisly, heads torn clean off. The phone rang. It was the Vig. His tone was casual, almost cheerful. "Guess I got a little overheated, kid. Don't be mad. Couldn't be helped. Anyway, I took care of your problem. You're in the clear, and you know what that means. 25% for the rest of your life. Every dollar you earn, you kick a quarter up to me. Don't you ever be late." Remy stared at the receiver in horror. He realized then that what looked like friendship had just become a leash. The Vig didn't help him, he bought him. Back in the present, Gambit folds the note that had appeared in his jacket pocket. "Your bill has come due. He's carried that debt for years, paid it in shame, always in silence, and now the Vig has returned." Later that night, Remy crosses the street to a familiar bench. He knows how these things work. Debts don't die. They get buried deep, like roots in the ground, and no matter how clean you try to live, they'll drag you back down. The Vig is waiting for him, sharp suit, same cruel smile. "I want what you owe me, boy. You got everything now, mansion, friends, fine southern belle. You live in suite. Where's my piece?" Remy doesn't flinch. "What do you want, Vig?" The Vig grins wider. "You got 4 new recruits, 4 little freaks. I want one. You pick, then we square." The words make Remy's blood boil. Threatening him was one thing. Threatening the kids? That crossed a line. "Ain't gonna happen, Vig," Gambit replies. The Vig lunges, his scaled fists slamming into Remy and knocking him through the air. The pain lights him up, sharp and raw. Gambit crashes but rises fast. This fight isn't about honor, it's survival. He leaps forward, tackling the Vig onto the bench, his bow staff striking hard. "I ain't no kid no more," he growls. The Vig sneers through blood, claiming Remy doesn't have the firepower to stop him. "One mistake, and I break you in two." "Probably true," Gambit smirks, "but I don't gotta hit you to win." That's when the Vig realizes too late. Gambit had palmed a pack of charged cards into his jacket pocket during the scuffle. The explosion rips through the park, hurling the Vig backwards in a flash of pink kinetic fire. Remy stands tall, chest heaving. For years, shame chained him to this man. But tonight, he's done carrying that weight. He leans over the injured Vig, voice low and sharp. "All these years you made me pay. Every dollar. Every breath, I felt it. But I called around tonight. Turns out Salvatore's boy, the one you sicked on me all them years ago, he's still alive. And guess what? He told me the truth. You paid him to beat me down. You set the whole thing up so I'd owe you." The Vig's eyes widen. He tries to speak, but Remy cuts him off. "That's just plain mean." He straightens, walking away. "I ain't gonna kill you. But we're done. Debt's paid. And just so you know, I told old Salvatore where you'd be tonight. He sounded real happy. My advice? Run, run, run." Behind him, the Vig struggles to his feet, but the damage is done. The chain is broken. Gambit is free. Later, Gambit returns home, crawfish bags in hand. Rogue greets him with a smile and a question. "All good, Cajun?" "Better and better, darlin'," he replies. Soon, the backyard is alive with laughter and steam from a giant boiling pot. Logan and Rogue stand nearby. Nightcrawler teleports in with beer, and Jubilee wrangles the young recruits. Gambit holds up a crawfish, teaching them the Cajun way. Grab the head and tail, little twist. Brave, suck the head. Extra flavor. Toss it, peel the shell, squeeze, slide it out. Or do like me, just use your teeth. Now you really livin'. The kids laugh, trying it for themselves. Rogue leans in, whispering, "Is it weird I'm incredibly turned on right now?" Gambit grins. For the first time in years, he feels light. The Vig was wrong. Dirt does wash off. For a moment, Haven House felt like home again. The kids laughing over crawfish, Jubilee teasing Ransom about seasoning, Logan grunting that beer wasn't cold enough. Simple, normal things Gambit wished he could freeze in time. Elsewhere in New Orleans, the city itself was shifting under new pressures. Mayor Mickey Sapora stood behind her desk, listening to an unexpected visitor. Mackenzie Denier, sharp-eyed, businesslike, and already known to be stirring anti-mutant sentiment, leaned forward. "It's the mutants, Mayor." "You have to do something about them," Mackenzie urged. "They don't belong here. They're dangerous. Every time you let them gather, you invite disaster into this city." Mayor Sapora folded her arms. She wasn't a fool. Mutants were both a resource and a lightning rod. This issue carries the legacy numbering of Uncanny X-Men, first series number 712. Rogue's guilt over ordering Gambit to knock Jitter from the tower continues directly from the prior issue. Hotoru's discovery that he enjoys cinnamon, though mispronounced, occurred in Uncanny X-Men, 6th series, number 9. The Vig was foreshadowed watching Gambit in Uncanny X-Men, 6th series, number 10. Mackenzie Denier previously appeared in Uncanny X-Men, 6th series, number 6 and number 10, where her anti-mutant sentiments began to surface.